24, 25, 26, 27. Oh, you're still alive. That's a surprise, to say the least. Yup, everyone else is dead. The explosion really wiped everyone else out. You wouldn't happen to remember what number I was on, would you? Wait a minute. Well, I didn't mean for you to get hurt. Here, let me help you out from under that rubble. Okay, fine. I won't touch you. I was just trying to be nice. The paramedics won't be coming around anytime soon, though. The other members of the Evolved are delaying them, so we have time to spare. I admit, I feel a little nervous about finally having this chance to talk to you. But who could have predicted that we'd be together right after I finished bombing? Aww. Even in this trapped and vulnerable state, you're still as entrancing as the first day I saw you. But it looks like your powers won't save you this time, my doll. You know, 'cause your powers are like a voodoo doll. If you harm yourself, it affects someone of your choosing. But only if you're making direct eye contact with them, of course. Okay, I admit, I'm not that creative with nicknames. I'm bad at regular names, too. What do they look like? Oh, you mean your healer friend. Yes, he was over there somewhere, definitely not gonna make it. But you two are quite the pair. I mean, you're the definition of hurting yourself to save someone else, and he's, well, a healer. But that power can only take you so far, and your friend can only do so much. You did successfully kill someone on my team, though, with that stunt you pulled that one time. After your enticing first impression, I just had to keep my eye on you. You'd not only be useful to recruit, but you are a fascinating character. How long has it been? Like 2 months? When you sliced your neck with a glass shard, it should have killed you alongside my comrade, but you woke up in a hospital anyways, and end up losing your memories for a good while. It was truly tragic that even you forgot about your healer friend who barely managed to save your life and carried you to the ER. Thankfully, you're all back to normal now, but those scars never truly fade, do they? But I'm more impressed you had the guts to pull that off at all. It was truly admirable the way you charged in so bravely and selfishly, and despite your knees shaking and the heavy breathing, you took the plunge anyway. Too bad it didn't work in the end. You really don't know? We were lucky we recruited that one hero who can resurrect people a week before your brave act. Well, I suppose they're not a hero anymore. What's their name again? Again, I'm so bad with these names. But yeah, they brought our teammates back to life without breaking a sweat. You really shoved your way through all those police and were willing to trade your life for a couple of random citizens. My comrade wasn't going to hurt them. Our boss sent me to make sure of that. So, I played as one of the captured victims just in case my comrade took it too far. It was merely to grab the attention of the news, a demonstration. if you will, to inform the city of our organization's existence, the Evolved. But then again, how are you supposed to know? You were willing to sacrifice your life to save mine, and I wasn't even an actual victim. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I didn't think I'd have to explain to you what you already know. The civilians of this city treat us like dirt. In fact, the world evaluates us based on our worth to them. Sure, you're not a full-time hero. You live out your life like any other person, but you still step in whenever someone needs help. You deserve some sort of compensation instead of having to work multiple jobs just to scrape by. Why are you surprised? I know that. I did say I kept my eye on you. You know, I suppose whether you were killed in this plan or not, it would have worked out fine for me. Because if you're not on our side, with me, then no one else could have you. What's that look for, my doll? I simply adore you. I suppose your injuries are worse than I thought. They must be making you delirious. Otherwise, you'd understand my devotion to you. I'm assuming your wounds are the reason why it'd be risky to use your powers at a moment to strike me down. Especially since it only works if you are the one who harms yourself. But now our relationship can change. Of course. I didn't mind simply watching you from afar. It helped me to get to know you better, after all. Even if I couldn't see you as often as I would have liked. I do have to spend the majority of my time contributing to the Evolved, after all. It felt so perfect, seeing you living out your life. I can't quite describe it. Seeing you accomplish small tasks or errands made me proud. When you were distraught, it pained my heart. You really are my adorable little doll. But this, being here with you, it's so much better. I know the destiny wanted us to meet. Your friend always nags you to show up early to events. No wonder you two were the only heroes to be caught in the bombing. Knowing him, he probably had you two show up an whole hour early. Did you really think that meeting was for a compromise? Did you think they all of a sudden wanted to reward the heroes with benefits? They were going to try and strip you of your powers. They had some sort of machine. If anything, they were about to use you as a test subject. The city's higher-up politicians wouldn't have attended that meeting for a bunch of casual heroes. No offense. So I laced the buildings with explosives. This was to send my message to them all. I was gifted with powers just like you. When my body is no longer physically floating between life and death, leaving me immune to any sort of damage. Everything simply passes right through me. It has a time limit, of course, but it lasted long enough for me to remain inside the building when it collapsed. I watched it all crumble from the inside while I remained unaffected. Humans will always find one difference between one another, and it'll send them into conflict. There was always tension. It was about time one side snapped. I'm glad our leader was the one to pull the trigger first. This bombing marks the beginning of an era. But don't worry, we snagged some evidence of their plans to strip our powers first. Who would win? The side gifted with powers? The side that has evolved further than the average person? Or them? The side who's struggling to make up for the lack of it? They're gutsy to try and take our powers from us, but it's their audacity that disgusts me. Their side didn't deem me as useful, because my ability only allows me to protect myself. It was the evolved that saw my potential. And I see yours. Their name is still not coming to mind, but I know how I talked about my comrade who can resurrect people. Technically, they need to take someone else's life essence to bring someone back. But since you made it out alive, there must be someone we can use to resuscitate your healer friend. If you join me, I'll ask them to save him. And of course, fix you right up. It's a win-win. Or, you can both die here. By my side, by being mine alone. I'll make sure no one will ever hurt or take advantage of you again. You wouldn't need to rely on anyone else. Your friend won't even serve a purpose anymore, because I will be here for you always. So, what do you say, my little doll?